Hi, I'm Ramzi, and if you don't know me already, I help companies set up and optimize their ClickUp workspace, ClickUp being a productivity and a project management software. I also create content, templates, courses around ClickUp, and you can go check that out if you're interested. But in this series, I'll be talking about something different. I'm traveling right now, and I thought while I'm here, I'm going to start a project I've been thinking about for a while. A lot of my clients have been complaining about one issue on ClickUp, and I thought I could solve it with software. And I also noticed there were products similar to what I'm going to build for other project software. I've been delaying this project for a while. I've been focused on consulting and providing my services to clients. While I am in a totally different mood and mindset, I'm going to start working on it. As a disclaimer, I am not a software engineer. I don't know much about programming. I have the basics, but this should be enough to get me going with my knowledge of ClickUp and with the help of AI to build a minimum viable product. This will be a starting point for a bigger product that will expand in the future, and I will probably outsource the next steps of the development to a developer that I'll be working with, and I'll be sharing that journey as well. This is very improvised. This is a brand new experiment. The mic quality is not going to be great. The camera is not going to be great. And I don't expect to make so many views, but it's just to share my journey, my struggles, and also keep myself accountable on building the product I'm going to talk to you about a little bit later. Now that you know everything, welcome to BIP episode 1, and let's build in public.
Hi, and welcome to this first episode of BIP Build in Public. I have challenged myself to build a software and document everything I do here on YouTube. Now, these are special issues. It's a dedicated standalone series on building a software in public. I have no experience building softwares. This is going to be very crafty, and I'm not going to focus much on the quality of the video or the quality of the editing, the camera, the mic. I am traveling right now, and I'm just going to record myself with my laptop every time I move forward on the product. The idea is both to challenge myself to keep going forward and keep moving and be as efficient as possible when I record myself, but also for you to get a glimpse of what it means to start from the ground up and build a software if you're ever interested into doing a micro product. Without further ado, I'm going to explain you the software I'm going to build for ClickUp. I got the idea of this software because as a product manager, I used to use a feature called Jira Cloud for Google Sheets when I was working on Jira. This product lets you sync Jira issues with Google Sheets. And the idea behind it is that you can visualize your Jira data in Google Sheets and create reports in Google Sheets. And if I remember well, you could also sync your changes in Google Sheets to Jira. I'm not sure yet, but this doesn't really matter because it's related to Jira. But it inspired me, and I just connected the dots to how it was useful as a product manager because I was using all this spreadsheet-like data to kind of like filter, customize, because I needed a Google Sheet-like feature when I wanted to do reportings to my manager or things like that. A few years have gone by, and I'm not a product owner anymore. Now I work as a ClickUp consultant, so I help companies set up ClickUp through either done-for-you consulting, coaching calls, or a course called ClickUp Master that you can go check out in the description. Basically, all my products are in the description if you're interested. But getting back to this topic, I thought now that I master ClickUp and now that I see there's an actual need of companies wanting to export that data from ClickUp to Google Sheets, I thought I would do a Google Sheets plugin that would sync your ClickUp tasks with Google Sheets with just one click. And in the beginning, it will be one way, which means your changes in ClickUp will reflect in Google Sheets. But in the future, I'd like to make it two ways so that the changes in Google Sheets reflect in ClickUp. And I think there are so many use cases for this. It could be exporting data for reporting to a client. It could be exporting data for changing it and updating it, and that would reflect in ClickUp. It could be exporting that data in real time to then import it later in your accounting software or something like that. So there are so many use cases, and ClickUp lets you export your data as CSV. And if you don't know how to, I can show you very quickly. If I go to ClickUp right here, I can go into the view that I want to, go into customize, and then export as CSV. But the thing is that each time you export, you have to re-import it into Google Sheets if you're using Google Sheets in your company. And you basically have to do the exports one by one each time. And I'm pretty sure it'll be very useful with one click of a button to sync a ClickUp list with a Google Sheet spreadsheet. So you go into Google Sheet and you just have an extension right here called ClickUp to Sheets, and it will be able to pull everything from ClickUp with the right columns, the task ID, task name, etc., etc. So yes, I am speculating it would be useful right here. And a philosophy that's very important in product design is that the idea is should not come from your own mind, but be confirmed by the user, by the client. I have created a one pager for that product already, and it's inspired by the Jira Cloud for Google Sheets. But if you type Notion to Google Sheets in Google, there's also an extension that does it for Notion. And if you type any project software, there are some integrations and some custom reportings that you can do. There is definitely a need to link project management softwares and Google Sheets to have a type of like a very spreadsheet like type of task management. I'm just going to deepen it, explore it, and get some client feedback. But at least for the MVP, for the minimum viable product, I am going to start with my one pager. And from there, I will probably interrogate some of my clients and work with them and see the need they have and implement it in the product to make that product really, really match business needs. Now, here's my one pager. To summarize, here's the problem. Managing tasks across ClickUp and Google Sheets is time consuming and error prone, leading to data inconsistencies and reduced productivity. Indeed, when you export that data and you re-import it into Google Sheets, if you change that data and do that export and import in 2 months, will that data be reflected? You have to actually delete the previous sheet and import a new one. There is a risk of mistakes. Whereas a sync that's made through the API of ClickUp and the API of Google Sheet would simplify everything. If you know a bit about technicalities, it would just like real time sync everything and avoid these discrepancies. ClickUp to Sheets comes to place. It's a Google Sheets add-on that automates task sync between ClickUp and Google Sheets. I've listed some key features, but we're entering into some technicalities right here, and I will probably not develop all of these features in my minimum viable product. You'll have the integration with ClickUp. I have to do that. You have a one-way sync of ClickUp tasks to Google Sheets. You might have a hierarchical data pool. You want to know in the list to which folder and which space the tasks are related to. Maybe I'll integrate this, but probably not in the first version. I'll move it to the bottom. You'll have task details captured, the name, the ID, the start end dates, etc., the tags. So everything will be captured and then brought into ClickUp to Sheets. You'll have subtask support with parent task ID. In the future, you might have some customizable sync frequency, but I think in the beginning, it will be a button to launch the sync because we're still testing this out. And this will be useful for testing. And this will also make sure that we're syncing things on demand and this doesn't load servers. But in the future, there'll probably be a routine that will sync every 15 minutes, every 1 hour, every one day. We'll see, maybe it'll be tied to the pricing. So it depends. Then we'll have synced tables, columns, and cells, customizable column display and order in Google Sheets, handling of relationships, custom field support. So all of these things. So if we focus on the minimum viable product, I think these three are the most important. You need to be able to click a button to sync your ClickUp task with a spreadsheet. And once the task is captured, you need to bring in the name, the description, the ID, the tag, the start and end date. So the most important fields. And maybe as we go, I'll add some more information. The idea is that I build the minimum viable product myself, but because I'm just starting with development and because I don't have the time, at some point, probably once that minimum viable product is built, I will bring in a developer that will take care of the rest and we'll probably work back and forth. And I'll share with you the progress of this product. And I will probably stop developing myself at some point. The first episodes of this series, I'll share my development progress and probably frustrations. And then as we go, it'll probably be just demoing the progresses that have been done by developer in the back. If we focus on the benefits of this software, there's going to be time saving, obviously. It's going to be accurate. I talked about discrepancies. It's going to be flexible. The idea is that it's as user friendly as possible and customizable. These benefits come as obvious, but I wanted to highlight the difference with the current CSV export that you can do from ClickUp. Obviously, it's not flexible. It's accurate when you export it, but once you import it, you might mess up with the data and it takes time. I've noticed the people that might need this feature the most are project managers, obviously, that need to do some reporting, team leads, power users that are importing and exporting data from into ClickUp and maybe to other softwares, and businesses that use ClickUp and Google Sheets, or businesses that need to import ClickUp data other software. I have a client, for example, that needs to import periodically their data from ClickUp to their accounting software. And to do so, they have to export it in ClickUp, bring it to Google Sheets, and then from there, they have to manipulate and change that data and import it again to the second software. Now, obviously, you could do direct integrations between ClickUp and that other software, but if there is a middleware, the fact that it's automatically synced through Google Sheets is already really, really time saving. Obviously, I need to be careful about the ClickUp when it comes to technical considerations. From what I see, there's not much to develop. Well, I'm not a developer, but I have some experience in product management, so I know a little bit about software. And all I'm seeing is some API integration between ClickUp and Google Sheets. I have to handle some OAuth integration. OAuth is what lets you log in to ClickUp through that software that I'm going to build. And I probably will have to do some updates between the Google Sheets API and the ClickUp API if they change. Hopefully, there will not be much changes, but if it happens, I will have to support that. We're going to skip a little bit. And when it comes to the roadmap, I want to focus on the one-way syncing between ClickUp and Google Sheets. But in the future, I would like to be able to do a two-way sync. So whenever you change a task name or task description in Google Sheets, it will reflect in ClickUp if you press a button. I'd like to do that, but obviously it's much, much more complex to do a two-way sync than a one-way sync because it requires some rules and some documentation to explain you exactly what has the priority between ClickUp data and Google Sheets data, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot behind the scenes going on, so one-way sync is going to be easier. And I'll probably just stop at the one-way sync and then, as I told you, work with the developer to focus on the next features. So there'll be two-way sync, there'll be custom field support in the future, there'll be task creation in ClickUp from Google Sheets, advanced formulas, stuff like that. I don't know exactly how it will go, but these are the versioning. It's V1, V2, V3, but we could call it V1.0, 1.2, or something like that. I haven't decided of the versioning yet. As I told you, this is work in progress. This is very iterative. And as I go and as I learn, I will probably refine this. We'll skip the rest. I think you've understood what this product's about. Today I've introduced the product, and in the next video, I will start building that product. I will start building ClickUp to Sheets. Thanks for watching this video. As I told you, I don't know exactly what I'm doing right now. This is very unprepared. I have very little experience in software development, but I have faith that with my knowledge of ClickUp and the use of AI and how AI helps you code these days, and obviously I know a little bit about the basics of software development, I will learn and improve and build the version 1 of ClickUp to Sheets. I'll see you next time to start the build. Thanks for watching.